you an expert, entrepreneur, or small business owner passionate about helping people through life's transitions? The Fresh Starts Expert membership is perfect for you. For just $55 per month, this dynamic membership is designed to boost your business and amplify your brand. Fresh Starts is here to provide you with business development, marketing, coaching, networking, publicity, community engagement, and more. With an SEO-optimized profile, exclusive press opportunities, and weekly co-working and business coaching sessions, you'll connect, grow, and gain visibility like never before. Are you ready to elevate your brand? We can't wait to work with you. Visit freshstartsregistry.com and become a Fresh Starts expert today.
Welcome to Simple Tips to Support Yourself, the podcast series that's here to help you master the art of adulting without losing your mind. Each episode will dive into simple, practical tips from the Fresh Starts experts on how to tackle life's daily obstacles with a little less chaos and a little more confidence. Whether it's figuring out finances, tackling that never-ending laundry pile, or even learning how to make a doctor's appointment without breaking into a cold sweat, we've got you covered. So grab your coffee and get ready to learn, laugh, and maybe even feel like you've got this whole being an adult thing under control. Let's do this together, because here at Fresh Starts, you never have to adult by yourself.
Hi, I'm Rachel Lovitt. I'm a holistic movement coach and owner of Mindful Movement and Living, and I help people feel comfortable and at home in their bodies through all sorts of ways. I have a background in personal training, exercise science, mobility work, mindfulness, Reiki, all that jazz.
Amazing. Well, we are really excited to talk to you today because you work with clients with movement.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the questions that personally I have, but we get a lot, is how can you move your body, right? It's really important to move our bodies without punishing ourselves, which is what most women of the millennial age were taught to do. So what do you do with your clients? What would you recommend? How can we move without hating ourselves?
Yes, that is a big and very important question. And it's all about finding pleasure and joy instead of punishment. And that can be really scary because I bet a lot of people, if they ask themselves, like, what brings me joy? What brings me pleasure? You wouldn't have an answer. And so you really have to take that time to kind of dive deep and figure that out. And the thing with movement is that movement, I like to say movement is movement and all movement counts. And so, throw out the word exercise. Like exercise, we don't have to like think about going to the gym or even going on jogs or anything like that.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. You can just think about like, what do I like to do that involves moving my body? And most things do involve moving your body, like even like gardening, right? Or just going on a walk in the woods. Or sometimes I even like to ask people, like, what did you do when you were a kid that was really fun? And I had a client once that started up ice skating in her 60s because she just like always wanted to do that.
Oh, I love that.
Or people who have gone back, they're like, oh, I used to do gymnastics and I really like that. And then they found an adult gymnastics class, things like that. Or even like jump roping or just like playing, right? Like, how can we play? That's
okay. I'm going to ask you this though, Rachel. I'm going to assume if you said to, I'm 39, right? You said to somebody my age, okay, Olivia, I want you to go find the joy in movement and see what I would have a panic attack, right? Because it's like, so how do you even get there, right? How do you figure out, like, first of all, divorcing yourself from the idea that like movement is exercise. Exercise has to hurt, right? We have to sweat, like all these things. How do you get to that joy aspect, that pleasure? Because I'm going to go on a limb here and say you probably see that they're all connected to each other.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think the first thing, because we're kind of coming at this from like skepticism, right? And
Uh-huh.
so what I like to throw at skepticism is science. And
Uh-huh.
so I think the first step is acknowledging that it is healthier for us to not be motivated by punishment, right? Healing and change happens from a calm nervous system, right?
Mm.
If we are constantly in fight or flight, our bodies, let's say we're, strength training or something, and we're doing it from a place of just self-hatred and self-punishment. We are activating our nervous system from that judgment. And so our bodies are not able to recover from that exercise that we're doing. We're not able to build the muscle in the same way. We're going to hit a plateau if we're constantly motivated in that way, because we're basically becoming a threat to ourselves, right? Like you've heard of sympathetic nervous system
Yep.
being like being chased by a tiger.
Yep.
Like we become our own tigers within our mind.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the first piece, is knowing that like we cannot progress as much if we are in that state. And then the other piece is kind of evaluating, right? Like where are you actually at, and what are your goals? Because
Mm.
most of us are not Olympic athletes,
Right.
right? Like we're not trying to train for a specific thing.
No.
Like we just want to be more comfortable throughout the day. We just want to wake up without
Right.
aches and pains. We want to be able to, like, if the kids are like, I want to go do this, you're like, cool, I can do that with you, no problem, And so just kind of grounding in like what are my goals? And so those are the two pieces, and so that kind of have nothing to do with joy just yet. Is kind of knowing that like, okay, it is better for me to slow down in a way. And then where am I actually at? And then once you orient yourself, like, okay, where am I actually at? Then you can start to pick a path. And then the other piece too is knowing that you might not know what your joy is, what your pleasure is, until you just try, right? Like
Right.
we get
Right.
information from making choices. And so there's no right choice. And that's something too that's been ingrained in us, is that there's a perfect way to exercise. There's a right thing to do. And there isn't, right? There might be a right thing for you, but you're not going to know that unless you experiment and kind of treat it like a fun science experiment where you're like, well, let's try this. How did that feel? Let's try this. How did that feel? And then, and also remembering too that not only can you change your activity, you can change the frequency, intensity sort of thing as well. Like I have a lot of people who hate running, but what their definition of running is like, pushing themselves so hard, like practically sprinting, trying to sprint for a half an hour, right?
Right.
Maybe you don't actually hate running, you just hate running at that level.
Right.
So then it's like, just kind of changing your definitions of things just in the same way you would change your definition of exercise.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm thinking through like what you said with movement being any movement, right? So it's like if you wake up in the morning, making your bed is movement, right?
Yeah.
Making,
exactly.
Brushing your teeth, like all of these things, just constantly moving your body. I was reading in a parenting book recently about helping kids deal with tantrums and that kind of a thing. And it was talking about the importance of movement. And I love this. The importance of movement isn't to exercise, right? It's to remember you're human.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like, and I really, like, I said that to my kids because I was like, it's so important to just feel your body in the world.
Yes.
Right. And so like, I love dancing. Right. So for me, I'll just dance, but I dance around my office. It's not like I'm like going to a studio or something like, just dancing, like, taking the garbage out, like all of these things. Yeah. And I love that you are really like giving people permission to just move their body in a way that's comfortable. Like we're done with the no pain, no gain, right? That's like, it's out. Yeah. Exactly. So How do you work with clients? Because I know there's going to be a lot of people listening to this and they're like, I love her perspective on this. So what do you do? How do you work with clients? And do you work all over?
Yeah, so I have basically 3 main ways that you can work with me. So every month I host a free monthly community workshop that's virtual over Zoom, and we cover a wide variety of topics. So sometimes it's more kind of application based, right? Like maybe it's like a calming yoga class, like that sort of thing. And then this month rather, for example, it was all about shame and self-care and how like guilt and shame are keeping you from taking care of yourself. So it kind of runs the gamut that way. And then I have my Empowered Body program, which is a 6-month transformative program where we work through everything, right? We work through the mindset stuff. We work through movement and mobility stuff. It's a lot of body education. So you really feel empowered to make the choices that are best for you. And then I also have started doing in-person retreats. So if you're in the Seattle area, I'll be doing kind of day retreats in the Seattle area. And then a very exciting upcoming retreat in April of 2025 is in Bali. So that's
amazing,
really cool.
Rachel. Wow.
Joy Becomes Her. So that's very on topic.
Very on topic. I love it, love it, love it. And you work virtually, right? So people can work with you anywhere.
Yeah, primarily besides the retreats, I do virtual stuff, which is great because then you can move in your own living room.
Amazing. Absolutely. And for anybody listening, I've done virtual work with one of our other experts, and I didn't feel any different. Like it wasn't like I felt like I was lacking anything because I wasn't in person. You know, she saw everything. She got what I was doing. So if you are listening to this and you're like, I love Rachel's perspective, definitely go find her. Obviously, you can find Rachel at freshstartsregistry.com/experts. And Rachel, we appreciate you and everything that you do, and your perspective on movement is so needed and necessary in this world. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Olivia.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. A Fresh Story podcast is produced by Fresh Starts Registry, the first and only platform for everything you need to begin again, from home items to Hype Team and everything in between. You can learn more and read today's show notes at afreshstory.com.
Are you a freelancer, solopreneur, writer, creative, or professional looking to achieve your goals within a supportive community? Have you found that working from home on your own gets lonely? That you're missing the accountability and community of a positive workplace environment? We understand. And we're so excited to introduce you to the Fresh Starts Collective. For just $35 per month, gain access to 6 daily offerings a week, including virtual co-working, open office hours for business coaching, accountability sessions, and networking opportunities. Enjoy expert workshops, monthly events, and an extensive content library. Connect with marketing, design, and writing professionals to brainstorm and grow together. Surround yourself with accountability, community, and growth. Elevate your journey with the Fresh Starts Collective for only $35 per month. Visit freshstartsregistry.com and join us today.